Nope. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but hi, welcome to the channel. Please put your fingers to the keyboard and let me know what you're looking at because I'm looking at a blank screen. Though it says my camera is on, I cannot see or anything. Talking about Archangel energy, this is coming in pretty loud and clear. So do let me know what is going on. Everything okay? Now it just quit altogether. What, you see me? Oh, that's great. You see and hear. Okay. Well, I get nothing. I have a black screen. I see your chat thread and that's it. So hopefully my head is in the screen. I don't know. But I think this is a little bit of you're working with Archangel energy. Here's some glitches for you to show that our energy is so powerful and we can interfere with your technology. Oh God, thank you, Holland. Everything looks great. Okay, I'm just going with it. Today, I thought I would jump on and talk to you a little bit about the energy of archangels, kind of how personally, I can only talk from my experiences. So I'm going to share about how I see them, how I feel their energy, and why I choose to work with them. And I will be the first to admit, I am not an archangel specialist. I am not someone who has read a lot about this energy, dove into it. So the viewpoint that you're about to get from me is very raw and only through experiences. Shout out to you, Luminaires. Hi, Bambi. Hi, Darlene. She says good morning from everyone. And Dan in Arizona is here. Yay. So my first interactions with Archangel Michael was through my teacher, Marguerite Romez, in Gainesville, Florida. Hi, Marguerite. And she would work with Archangel Michael. And I thought, she was of Catholic faith. That was just something that she was used to calling upon or working with. And it was just an energy that would be in the room sometimes. But when this energy showed up, it was like taking how you would experience your spirit guides and applying a volume of 100 plus to it, tenfold, just duplicating that energy. And it would often paralyze me. And I wouldn't quite understand what I was sensing or feeling. I just felt extremely lifted, protected, as she would always work with Archangel Michael, and he's known as being a protector. And I always felt a little out of body. Do you know what I mean by that, sensitives? Like when you are working with entities, do you ever feel that there's some you can just hang out with and just talk to, and their presence in the room, or you see them and you feel them and you're like, hey, and you just keep going about your day? But then there's some that kind of come in and you go, you like catch your breath and you're like, oh my God, it's just high, and it's a game changer. It's a pivotal moment in time. So when we look at the term archangel versus just saying angels, archangel kind of boils down to meaning a chief angel. So if you want to think in terms of hierarchy, which I think is very natural for us as humans, we can kind of look at it as a large team, or the workers, the worker bees, or the actual kind of army of angels are the angels, and the leaders, who can then be considered the colonels, the generals, the bosses, the chiefs, are the archangels. And there are some very known archangels throughout time, since we've been documenting experiences that you can research. Yay. So I was reading Carolyn Starr's comment there. Thank you. And if at any time today, when we're talking about archangels, that you feel that lift or that just burst of curiosity, like I got to know more, just follow it. For us, we're looking for that ever elusive kind of answer on our spiritual journey, it will often come to you when you follow those urges. Those urges that you're getting or curiosities are part of your spiritual enlightenment. They are part of your intuition, your hits. So go for it, lean into it, and just kind of follow path. So Archangel Michael was the first that I had met. And then soon after, Gabriel, Raphael, and if you were to sit me down and quiz me, what do these angels do? Like, this is not something that I would go, oh, I know all their names and what they do. Again, not like I haven't studied them. What I do is when I'm in the presence of multidimensionals, which angels are multidimensionals, most people kind of document them as being human like, larger than life, taller, with great wings. The way that I see them, though, is quite different. I see them as beams of light. So this is what I'm going to call them. If you took a very huge flashlight and you held it about 8 feet up in the ground and you shine it down on the floor, and just imagine it kind of has a little curve to it, an hourglass curve. That is what an angel looks like to me. And then they have these bursts of energetic movements behind them. And sometimes they come from the base of their feet and they rush up over their head and back down. So it's like they're wearing a backpack of swirly energy. And to me, I see this as being interpreted as wings, to take flight. Hello from Sweden. It'd be so much fun if I tried to pronounce your name. Here we go. Ivela or Ivela. Thank you so much for being here. And sometimes when I look at these beams of light, the energies behind them don't rush from bottom up. It's kind of like it rushes from shoulder height up and over, like in front of them. And so I can distinguish that there are certain energetic patterns that they carry with them. And throughout the 30 years that I've been working with energy, I've been doing my best to notice more and kind of try to document more, at least for my experiences, about what these energetic patterns mean. And this is what I've come up with so far. I'd love to hear your insights and opinions. And a big shout out to Vlad and B. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being in the Luminaire family. And thank you so much for the financial support. You write, thank you, Jamie, for all the teachings and support you're providing. I just want to squeeze you guys. You're wonderful. My assessment only, I know, but wonderful. So I found that when the angels, they're entities, they're actually multidimensionals. Angels, aliens, same thing. They're all multidimensionals. Let's do this. Angels, aliens, humans, all the same thing. We're all multidimensional. We just reside on different dimensional planes. And from what I understand, angels themselves have not incarnated into physical body onto earth. Archangels have not incarnated into physical form on earth. And part of what archangels do, these chief angels, are assisting human and the humanity and spiritual evolution into getting back to love, getting back to being in the alignment to the universe itself. So there is a greater connection than just finding your way to a God source. Angels are actually non-denominational. They show up in all kinds of religious outlets. They show up in all cultures. So we're not, pinpointing them to be human. We're not pinpointing them to be in a certain religion. We're not pinpointing them to help us to a path of a certain outcome. It is to be in alignment with the universe. I guess you can call that a certain outcome, but what I meant is that they're not participating solely in a certain religious outlet. Oh, Carrie says, the only angels I've ever felt is just like you said, tall beams of bright energy. Yes. Yes. So I love hearing about this. I was having a conversation with another Luminaire the other day on the phone, and he was explaining coming across angels, and he was sharing the beam of light, and my mouth was open. I was like, you don't know this, but I'm like closing my mouth. I'm very excited that I'm meeting somebody else who's experiencing entities quite similar, because as you know, on our spiritual journey, like we see things quite differently, and that's to be expected, and we find connection within our differences. Going back to the angel wings, the energy that rushes off of them, I have found that when the energy rushes up from the feet, up and back, so down. So they're wearing a backpack in a way that looks like it's taller than them and then comes back to the ground. That to me is forward motion energy. So when I see an angel or an archangel with somebody as I'm doing a reading or a healing, and they have that energetic pattern or their wings are in that position, if you want to call it that way, I know that this person is moving at light speed in their life. They're going from 0 to 60. They have a lot of decisions to make in a short amount of time. They're going to grow exponentially. And so I'm like, okay, I'm ready for that. And I kind of open up to that information because I'm like, ready. You're going to tell me all the steps that need to take place and kind of what's happening, and kind of hold space for that bulk of information that's going to be rushing through. Then the energies that kind of rush forward, it looks like it's coming in front of them. Like if their angel wings were out in front of them, like if they could use them as wing or as arms to hug you. To me, this is the healing. It's not necessarily protective, like I've got you, nothing's going to harm you. It's more of a restful, forgive yourself, calm, purging, softness, protection. It is not like they are standing in front of you and, pushing energy out and away. It is they are caressing and holding you so that you can find that internal rhythm and connect back to your own heartbeat and your own breath. It's very grounding. There's sometimes the energy off the beams of light almost look horizontal. Like if you held your arms out like a letter T. And it's kind of bulkier, closer to the core of their body, like if they had big shoulder pads on from like the 1980s, and then they rush off to the ends. And when I see this energy, it actually looks like a very large cross. This energy is it's sharp, and commonly the actions and the emotions that they evoke is very much about like cutting it out, stopping. It is it's a different kind of force to be reckoned with. It's not sharp and painful to self, but it is a little bit more like if you've been telling yourself that you're not going to make it and you're stupid, and telling yourself things that aren't true, or I think the saying is shooting yourself in your own foot. This energy that comes in just puts a halt to it. And I've watched people come across this energy and they turn on a dime. It's like, I didn't know I was doing that before. I'll never do it again. And they really get it. They understand it. They embody it. It is like an instantaneous download of information and awareness that halts certain thinking, certain actions, and like behaviors. So that one is kind of wild. And then I've seen this kind of soft energy, the soft backpack. So the you don't necessarily, I don't necessarily, I say you because I really want to be in community. I'm just like grabbing you and putting you in my story. Um, it's where the energy doesn't rush really high up and in this kind of circle pattern, but it looks like a waterfall kind of comes off of them and it lays on the ground. So it looks soft, looks like water, doesn't really cycle. It's very gentle, it's very calming. And I've often seen this energy. This is another thing. you know, Archangels evoke a lot of emotion and it just comes out of nowhere. Um, and so when this happens to me, I tend to feel a little crazy because emotional quick swings like this aren't my norm. And when it's occurring, when I'm having a casual conversation with you guys. It doesn't feel very settling. So, if you are someone who is highly sensitive and working with angels, you too might also burst into tears or have emotional bursts. Let's see if we can do this. Hold that space. We're going to talk about that angel. Well, that patterning of the wings. I see it around people who are transitioning, who are, whew. Man, my throat feels really tight, like at the top of the balloon where you tie a knot, and my chest feels like a big balloon blown up. Like feel like my heart chakra, somebody put a pump in it. And then my throat is so small that it can't run the energy through it. So I see these angels around people who are surrendering, giving way to what is really in alignment to them. So I'll see them with people who have advanced diseases or illnesses, and they know that they are transitioning. And they might not tell you that they know that they are sick and that they are transitioning, but they've come to peace with it. And so you feel it when do what you feel. Thank you so much, Nanette. You will feel it as an energy sensitive when you're around someone and it is so calm and you have this big view of who you're looking at. Geez, guys. I'm also remembering the last time I saw this. And this is when I was with my friend Mary Martin, who had a brain tumor. And she invited me over to her house. She was having a little bit of a headache. And I went over and I saw her, and we went out into her backyard. She was a master gardener, beekeeper, and gorgeous woman. And she had the most perfect makeup on. Her lips, this coral color, it was insane. The lining was perfect. Her hair was perfect. She was like 55 and just gorgeous. And, this is like 16 years ago. And I sat there and I saw the angel. And she was telling me, without me asking questions, all the accomplishments and achievements she had done in her life. Out of the blue. I've had a great life. I've done this artwork. I'm in Bergdorf's. I can't even say the name. I got my divorce that I wanted. I've got all this freedom. And she was like excited for the next chapter in life. And I'm watching her and I'm thinking, this is the last time I'll see her. And I was like, sit still, soak it up. But I couldn't understand why would it be the last time that I saw her? Because we didn't really know what the brain tumor was, what it was doing. She didn't have complications or anything. And then when I hugged her, I was like, this is so interesting. I was so calm, big feelings, peace. And that angel was there with that flowing water energy. Isn't this great to be human, to love so much? Doesn't matter how many dead people you see, right? When they're not physical anymore, it really hurts. Sorry. I need them to leave the room so I can continue talking to you. This is not what I planned. Jeez, guys. We have a healing later today. They will all be there. So maybe I will get through that healing without being a babbling idiot. Okay. They're backing up. I can breathe. Okay. So I remember getting into my car going, wow, that's the last time. And then 2 hours, it was just a few hours. When I got home, I got a phone call and they told me that she was in the hospital and that the brain tumor had erupted and that she was in a coma. And so I went straight to the hospital. And indeed, it was right. Like, that was the last time that I would see her. She did not make it through. But how wonderful that the, having that archangel like energy in the space allowed me to know that that was my moment with her. Like, I didn't miss it. I don't have any regrets. I miss her, but I don't have those like, oh, I should have said, I could have said, why couldn't I have helped? Done. So I'm happy, to be energy sensitive and be aware of those things. But still, it's a little, you know, and I'm certain, I think you guys have felt that maybe being there. Oh my God. Logan, Marie, I need to read that so much. Don't apologize for feelings of love. Hi, J Page Rocks. You feeling it? Thank you. Oh, Bambi, Jamie and a hospice nurse. You're a hospice nurse, and it's never easy, right? Hey, Amber. I know I get questions sometimes. Amber's like, it really does hurt. I get questions like, I do see death differently. Um, I get to still be with that person beyond, like, their character, their personality lives beyond them. In fact, like 2 days ago, I was in my house and I felt my friend Mary Martin. And it has been forever since she has come to see me. And I was like, oh, Mary, I'm like looking around the room because I can feel her in there. And I immediately went into journal mode. Do you guys do this? I was like, oh my God, I've missed you so much. I bet you didn't know Luke was all grown up. He just moved to college. Can you believe Malu is 16? Like I'm journaling out loud to her, informing her of everything that's happened. Since the last time I saw her, though, I full heartedly know that she's been watching the whole time. So I love those moments. And I know that they really enjoy it too. It's just a way of having that kind of conversation. So, but then I get clients and people who ask, like, why would you even cry? What, like, you're so lucky to be you. And I'm like, it doesn't change the way a person grieves or misses or any of that. I mean, it helps me process it more. Death is different. It's not an ending, it's a new beginning, but you have to work at that new relationship. You have to work at it. It's probably why I like teaching, like some of these classes that I teach, the perceiving and reading, especially the building the new relationship with loved ones. So that's specifically for you to focus on someone like a friend like Mary Martin or a loved one, to communicate to that person. But we have gotten off track. But we've got to talk about, those are the most of the energy patterns that I've seen on archangels. And I'm clearly expressing to you how I feel when I work with them because it just brings up so much emotion and it's out of the blue. And then when you come away from it, like right now, I feel quite normal, but I feel lifted. My skin feels soft. My energy feels really fat, large, like it's pushing into the walls in the space that I'm in. And I'm more hyper aware of it. So I choose to work with them and engage with this energy because it's so unique. It's very unique. It's very, very different. Um, I enjoy how Archangel Michael has just been showing up for healings. I wish they would show up on camera. It's been showing up for healings and then has been bringing in more of his crew, which I think is wonderful. Like last time we met Shamuel, and this archangel works with hardships, forgiveness, internal peace. And then I was told earlier in meditation that Maitland is bringing in, I thought she said Ariel, but that reminds me of the mermaid. But that's what it sounds like to me. And that Ariel works with animals, and she is going to be bringing that energy in. So the healing today, if you want to join me on Learn It Live, not only will it be for you, but it will also be for your animal companions. Oh, Mary Larson says, I love Archangel Michael. I ask a lot of him, and he loves it. Oh, it's Uriel. See, that's so close. That just lets you know that I am not book studied. We are going off experiences and psychic interactions, guys. Logan Marie says, I'm not sure if it's angel presence, but sometimes gold yellow pops in when I'm with my mom and it just makes me burst into laughter. I hear yes. I hear absolutely yes. I met a lovely angel named Seraphina. And Seraphina works with unity, family, community. Like there's a strong bond. And I've noticed her in other people's lives. Like I haven't noticed her in mine yet, but I've seen some of her energies, and it reminds me of that. Losing one, Nana says, and that's her handle, Nana says, losing the ones we love is so hard and a reminder not to take each other for granted. Oh, let's say that every day, every day. And just like I mentioned quickly before, it's just so wonderful that we are entities that can love so deep, that we actually have a huge bandwidth of emotions. And if I would compare our bandwidth of emotions to the visible spectrum that we can see, I think what we can see is quite limited, but what we can feel is endless. There's a lot of power in those emotions. That's why I like doing the healings and focusing on that. Oh, there was a few more. Raphael, is that how you say it? Raphael or Raphael? Raphael does with physical healing. And then we have Gabriel. And Gabriel works with messages and communication, clearness, clear, here. Oh, what is, I'm like recovering from all of these emotions. My gosh. Today's healing session is at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Colleen put the chat link or the link in the chat thread, and also the link will be under the description if you want to join. Oh, Holland, I didn't see the previous. Seraphina, says Bethany Campbell. Her name came to mind months ago. I thought I was making it up. The name, so humbled. Isn't that wonderful? It's like a little bit of a surprise kick, isn't it? So I ask for angels in my intent. Like I mentioned before, I'm not heavily focused kind of on one thing. I normally say a very sweeping term to be all inclusive, invite all multidimensionals and entities to come forward to work with you in the way that you need. You know, we're such unique individuals. You know, to blanket statement say everybody needs angel healing is, you know, I think limiting, even though angels are not limiting whatsoever. So we broaden it, and I like to use terms angels, guides, friends, relatives, gurus, masters, animal companions, multidimensionals, spirit team come forward. And that's the kind of language you'll hear me use during the healings, especially today, even though we are going to be working with Archangel energy. Hey, Lexi says, I once saw two horizontal flashes of light in my living room. It happened while I was mid thought about taking an angel course. I wonder if those were angels. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Maitland is very loud. Screaming, yes. Shouting, singing, yes. Multiple times. Isn't that interesting? You know, those flashes of light that you get in your tiny, tiny, like a little twinkle, like a little glitter kind of fell. To those, I'm like, oh, hi. There's a flash so big that I feel like taking a picture of me with a big flash bulb in the face, and my eyes adjust. Like it almost hurts. And to that, it's like, oh, hello. Like I feel like I need to bow or do something more graceful than going, hey, what's up? Like this energy of archangels really call. And we will be working with the archangel energy. How do you surround yourself with protection before calling in the beings? Ask Darlene. Beautiful name. Or Darlene, sorry. My glasses. How do I ask? So I have an intent that I say each time. And when I'm doing group healings, I will first say the intent for myself and I give thanks. I call in higher energies, which I tend to call Father, Mother, God, because I really enjoy that masculine, feminine, neutral energy. To me, that encompasses everything: Father Sky, Mother Earth, universe. I'm non denominational, but I love holding space for all religions. And I thoroughly enjoy people who have found their own path, whether that is their spiritual path or religious path, to to come do the work with. So I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for surrounding me with a golden white light of love and protection. I call upon my angels, guides, friends, and relatives to come forward to, and then I will say what I'm working on. And then when I do groups, I will actually invite all. So if you are in the healing, I say for all who are present currently, for all who have signed up, for all who are to sign up, like a future statement, for all who will watch this in the future, for all who are going to show up, because time is not stagnant, it's not linear, it's it's kind of twisted and looped in on itself. So when I make my statements in my group healings, I want to make sure that I'm encompassing everything that's coming in the future and what has happened in the past. And then I will invite your spirit team, your angels, guides, friends, and relatives to come forward. And then commonly, whatever the theme is, I've got tickles on my face and I don't have a single hair on my face. That's usually a Maitland thing, and she's standing over here. So I keep looking at her like, stop touching me. She likes to do the nose thing. So if there is a theme, like we are going to be working on detoxing or healing a specific aspect or ancestral lineage, then I will make that statement within. And then that statement acts as a filter. So I'm not really looking at hard boundaries so much, Darlene, as looking at providing a filter of allowing all the energy that is needed and used to come in, and what's not needed at the time remain on the outer barriers. I hope that helps. I've worked with a lot of healers who don't have intents. Like they don't say their intents. Their internal vision and their internal compass is sharp enough. And to them, their work doesn't need that kind of statement to prep it to be so. But I enjoy the statement of, because it aligns my energy and I feel like it's also clear communication. And maybe that's the teacher in me. I love teaching. So I try to share everything out loud in hopes that it will just hit home with one or more person. I'm pretty excited about the 21 days. So my team has been asking me to put together 21 days of consecutive healing. And I used to do this in college a lot. And I thought, I don't, know if I can do it, but I'm quite excited the way that they laid the format out. So I've opened it up June 11th. It's going to be for 21 days till July 1st, an hour a day. You don't need to be present with me. It's remote healing. I'm going to base it on Reiki, but it will have quantum healing layers to it, as any healing does. I say that very nonchalant, but if you're new and looking at this, that just simply means that we're using quantum physics and connecting to you remotely to influence and to cleanse and work with your energetic field. So I'll be working with your guides. I'm only going to take 21 people. So that's selling out quick. So if you're interested in it, I don't mean to make it sound panicky or anything. I'm going to be doing more of it because I have a feeling I'm going to fall in love with this deeply. We're going to be inviting the angel energies in. But the thing with healing and what I've noticed with archangels is that it's not like a one-time visit. They don't sweep in and go, hey, this is what's going on. So another story that I have with an archangel, which blew me out of the water, and excuse me for story sharing, but this is all I got, I was 29, 28, engaged to be married, and I'm out in my front yard. I'm building my fence. I love carpentry. And I have a new compound miter saw for you who know who it is, what it is. Congrats, but it's just a big saw with an arm. And my friend showed up, and I was like, oh, I just need to make one more cut. But I took my safety glasses off to say hi to my friend, and I was like, I'll be right with you. I just have one more cut. So I turned back and I flipped my wood around because it was a small cut. And I wanted to be more accurate. Whipped the handle down real fast, just not thinking. The wood flew into my eye. It hit my face so hard that it fractured my orbital bone and pushed, it's really gross, but it pushed my eyeball in. It hit me so hard, it made it sound so loud that the people inside of their home across the street came out and thought it was a car accident. And they saw me in the yard holding my eye. And I was like, you know what? I told myself, crying is not going to get you anywhere. This is really painful. You need to stay calm. So I took a breath. They're both doctors, so they run over. Are you okay? You got to let me look at it. And I said, nope. If I remove my hand, I'm going to be holding my eyeball. And I'm just not ready for that. They were like, no, that's not what's going to happen. You got to let me look. And I was like, no. And they were telling me, you're in shock. And I was like, I'm actually not in shock. I'm very aware of what's going on. I am breathing, and I'm doing my best to stay present and real calm. Okay, so they get me to the hospital. They pry my hand off of it. My eyeball's still in there, but it's swollen. Emory Hospital gives me a nickname, calls me Wood Chip. I don't even know how that got started. They thought a piece of wood had wedged into my eye because there was so much blood. The CT scan couldn't show anything. It was just all black. So the doctor comes in, and we have a whole conversation. I said, listen, doc, and for you energy sensitives who reside on the positive side of life, you always look at the positive. You aim for what you want to create in life. This is what you can say to your doctor. When he came in, he goes, all right. He's flipping this thing. I'm terrified. I'm by myself. I don't know what's going on. I'm in so much effing pain. And I said, before you say anything, I only need you to speak to me in terms of how I'm going to heal, and speak to me in a positive manner. And that doctor went, oh, like, to see his face was so awesome. He went, oh, and this is how he said it. Okay, if you are going to see, you might see some light, and you might be able to see some shapes. And I was like, that's the best you got? He goes, yes. I said, okay. So I felt devastated because you could hear the doc was coming in and going, pretty much your eye is screwed. You're going to have one eyeball. It's all right. You got one. So I laid in bed and I was by myself. And this archangel came into the ER room, walked through the wall, I got the one good eye, guys, and I'm watching it come at me. And my heart is racing because it is a feeling in the room. The air is thick. It was, I think it was Archangel Michael. I can't remember who it was, actually. No. Oh, Raphael. Comes in, reaches a hand. It looked like a hand of light and pushed it into my eye. And when I say that hurt so bad, it was like taking a hot iron and putting it onto my brain. And I was held to the bed. I was moving my body and I was grunting and screaming and like softly crying and weeping. And that angel held their hand into my face. And they were saying the sweetest of things. It wasn't like, take it, be still, nothing. It was all like, we love you. Everything is okay. You're going to be able to see. And then when it was done, he pulled his hand out and whispered to me, you will be able to see in 3 days and you will see better than what you did. And left the room. So I'm there by myself. I'm crying. My face is burning. My face is burning so bad. So I get all this medication. I have my head wrapped. I'm not supposed to sneeze, toot, use the bathroom, bend over, like no grunting, no extra pressure for my head. I was like, oh my God. So I'm on the couch for 3 days. I can't even walk the stairs to go to bed. And on the third day, I kid you not, on the third day, I saw light. I saw something. I saw light. I could tell you if you were walking through the room. On the fourth day, I saw color. On the fifth day, I could tell you what kind of clothing you were wearing. And then it was like by the end of the week or 10 days, my eyesight in both eyes were better than what it was before my accident. And when I was going back to the doctor this whole time, he kept looking at me and he was like, wood chip. I don't understand. I don't know how you've healed. They could not explain it. And I kept telling them, I told you to speak to me in positive terms because I told you that I can heal. But I wanted to say, a freaking angel came into the room, jammed his hand into my eye and like burned or cauterized something. And now it's all better. But amazing miracles are everywhere, aren't they? It's just storytelling. But thanks for giving me a moment to storytell. There's just some wonderful moments in our life that happen, and I don't think we get enough opportunity to go back to them because it's so outrageous. That was such an outrageous moment. My brain can't rationalize it as a common everyday occurrence. It's just like one of those miracles that happen. But miracles happen all the time. Why can't that healing happen all the time? It can. It's just a matter of believing in it, connecting to it, and allowing. Thank you. I heard it's an allowance, allowing it to happen. Right? Hey, Lorraine. And now I have glasses. I didn't have glasses for a really long time. Then both eyes declined like a normal, like aging process. It was pretty cool. But I had like 2010 vision for years, like all through my 30s. It was pretty fun. You could listen all day. Thank you, Mary. I often wonder if my soapbox talks are just too much, but it's hopefully it's just a way to let you know these things do happen and do believe in them. Please do. I hope you find your way to them. And if you're interested in experiencing some of the archangel energy, join me this afternoon. I'd love to see you there. If you're looking for a deeper, longer kind of connection to your own healing process, the 21 days of remote Reiki is going to be focusing on detoxing. So if you're working on detoxing for health, detoxing your mind, detoxing your emotions, turning over a new leaf, that is going to be the focus for the 21 days, an hour every day. It's going to be broken down to 45 minutes in the morning and a 15-minute maintenance session at night. The morning one will be on a Zoom. So if you want to attend live and watch, you can. But you don't need to check in with me at all, but you will have access to me throughout the whole 21 days because I want to help you process what healing is and what that journey is like for you. So it's going to be very hands-on. And if that's something that you like, then I can't wait to be with you for the 21 days. Oh, thank you, Maya. And thank you, Jocelyn. Guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It feels good to have community like this and talk about these things. And thank you for managing my totally blank screen. And I'm so happy that you can see me. It makes no sense on my end. Angels haven't fixed my computer. Take care of yourselves and know that it's not woo-woo. It's true. Stay open, keep asking. And as Grace often says, a guide that I work with, choose happiness. And I love it when she gives her choose happiness speech. It's so inspiring. So choose happiness. And I will see you later today, if not this Friday, when we have a little talk. Take care, everyone. Bye.